Good evening and welcome to the Invictus Racing League Equal Performance. This is round number 9, coming from the Temple of Speed at Monza for the Italian Grand Prix, an infamous circuit hosting the 9th round tonight. And it's gonna be an interesting one. It's always close racing around Monza. See, the DRS zones are help that heavy braking zones into the majority of the circuit, and plenty of overtaking opportunities. My name is JPH, and I'll be taking you through all of the racing tonight around this Monza circuit. Monza itself, well, it's been around for a long time. Broke ground in 1922. We have rain for qualifying. But yeah, it broke ground in 1922 in May. Opened up on the 3rd of September 1922, 102 years ago. It's had plenty of names. Actually, when it originally opened, it was called the Circuito di Milano. That was then changed to Autodromo di Monza, and now we call it the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza. As you can see, some of the cars starting to leave the garage. Most people on the wet tyres at the moment. Hosts plenty of racing, does Monza. Formula 1, GT World Challenge, TCR World Tour, the Monza Rally Show. Used to hold the 6 hours of Monza. Also had bit of Grand Prix motorcycle racing, World Superbikes, and W World Touring Cars was also here. The current circuit is 5.793 kilometres, it's 3.6 miles long, and obviously we go underneath the infamous banking that made up part of the circuit a long time ago, when the oval connected that combined course. Had a race lap record of 2 minutes 43.6 by Phil Hill back in 1960, doing 138 miles an hour, or actually 138.58 miles an hour back in the 1960s. The current course record, though, is held by Rubens Barrichello, a 1 minute 21.046 in the race. That's from 2004. Back in the sort of V12 V10 era, probably V10s at that point if I remember correctly. Could be wrong on that. Good evening, Spud. How are you? We're going to go on board with Matty Rudd. And cross the line and go up towards the first chicane. Down to second, down to first. If you want to keep it tight to the first spot, open up the second bit to try and get on the power in these wet conditions as we come up towards Curva Grande. Absolutely pinned, even in these conditions. Flat through Curva Grande, down towards the Della Roggia chicane. Now the brakes, 100 metres in these conditions. Down to second, trying to get up to third as quick as you can so you don't wheel spin the car, because you want to get a nice run down towards the first Lesmo. Late apex, square the corner up, and Matty Rudd squaring it up, but going very sideways whilst doing so. Lesmo 2, don't really want to touch the curb because it will cluster the car wide, and again, Matty just sliding through that second Lesmo as we head down towards under the banking and up to the Ascari chicane, down to 5th, 4th in the wet, and again just want to be feathering this throttle, trying to keep the traction, keep the grip, as we then go down towards Parabolica. Now I know it has been renamed in recent times, but it's always going to be the curve of Parabolica to any race fan. Again, it's slightly late apex, try and square the corner to get back on the throttle. Car just squirming around as we head to the line. It's a 1 minute 32.475. That is what the opening time is. Massive Marshall, a 33.3. We have Redowan out. That we should have. Coach Kerry looked like he was going a bit wide. Gotta be careful. Don't want to go too wide there, and it's a 1:32.5 for the Hash driver, slots into second. And we've got a Salbervo Stephen. I think he was the cause of a yellow flag earlier. Jack is behind him. Stephen 1:36.2, a 31.8 for Jack T and 53 Synopsis. He puts himself into provisional pole position. Mikey, he's on the Inters. That's going to be the interesting thing. Yeah, both McLarens and Ruddo on the intermediate tyre at the moment. And Mikey puts himself in 4th place at 32.6. We just have Maris through on a 1:33. Gattuso puts in a 1:30.4 on the wet compounder tyre to take provisional pole position. Nitric Ash, what can he do on his attempt as we go into Parabolica with the Mercedes? Up to the line is 4th place for Nitric Ash. Ginger Tiger crosses the line, goes 4th quickest. Matty Rudd has put in a 30.9, so he goes up into 3rd place. Ruddo on those intermediates is this the right call? It's 2nd place for the Williams, a 30.552. Maybe I want to say maybe it's too early, but the rain is coming down. It looks like it's just getting heavier, so the surface is just going to keep getting worse and worse. So this is why everyone's gone out early, apart from the cat spud in the leg. Everyone's gone out early because at the moment, if it continues to rain, the surface will get worse, the speed that you'll carry will be worse, and generally speaking everything just slows down time wise. Mikey puts himself into 3rd place at 30.7, only less than 2/10 away from Ruddo. Not a bad time at all from the McLaren. Typhoon, he goes 10th quickest on his lap. Keza, whereas he's invalidated this lap, so he's going to have to go again. Here's Keza. I feel like we should have Jack on a lap. Yes, he is. He's got hot lap mode engaged. Oh, very sideways going through Lesmo 1 into Lesmo 2. To see the car squirming around at the moment. I don't know sort of what the weather is supposed to do for the race, so we could be seeing as Ruddo puts in a 29.539. Maybe starting to prove that those Inters are the right tyre to be on at the moment. There's Jack. Eclipse Kiri's got out onto Inters, as has Stephen and Kent. But if the rain persists, surely there'll be a point in time where they're just not going to be going faster, as Jack puts himself into 2nd, just under 2/10 away from Ruddo in the Williams. It's a good lap time. Where's Keza got to? He's just coming through a scar at the moment, right on board with the Red Bull. Yellow flag, that's let's say it's Mikey down between the Lesmos. Just getting going again. Time ticking down. He's not going to be near pole. It's going to be a couple of 2-3 seconds away. It's a 32.6 for Keza. A bit further down the order than he probably would like to be at the moment. Major Cash towards the line for his latest attempt. He's 1.7 slower. So I think Ginger Tiger has just gone quicker by 6/10. This is going to be an interesting one. Eclipse Kiri on a set of intermediate tyres now. The question is, and that rain looks like it's gotten heavier in the last sort of couple of minutes. Down towards the Della Roger chicane goes Clips. There's Ginger just getting out of the way for the Haas. As the Mercedes goes for a recharge lap. 8 minutes 40 left on the clock. Clips Kiri through the Lesmos. Back end just trying to step at every possible opportunity. He tries to get the throttle laid onto the wet tarmac. Look, he is 2.3 quicker at the moment, so that puts him on a 30.2. Put him up to third right now. And Gattuso on those wet tyres has done a 29.3. So making those tyres work is interesting. He's the only person on the wet tyres that has made that work. And Clips Kiri's gone for a 29.0. Ruddo a 28.8, so we are getting quicker here, which is surprising because the rain it looks like it's not letting up much. But obviously this is a game, and it doesn't always work the way you think it does. There's quite a few cars on circuit at the moment. 6 are in the pits, Mikey being one of them. Strap on maybe a new set of Inters if they're not going to need them for the race. Jack a 28.7, he'll go into pole position. Kent a second quicker at the moment, he's looking at a 29.7. Through Parabolica and up to the line. Kent goes fourth, a 29.2 for the Red Bull. Matty Rudd has gone to the Inters, and he's just turning a lap at the moment. Matty Rudd through Curva Grande. What's he got after the first sector? 0.6 of improvement. It's a good start, but there's still a lot of the lap left to go. Monza being one of those ones where sort of a big snap through Lesmo 1. The RB unhappy when the throttle gets laid. I'm not sure who that is behind Matty. Is that it's not Jack. Jack is saved up. He's been about to go for another lap on those intermediates. He's done 5 laps on them so far. So that is, he goes into the pits, but probably for a fresh set. Clips Kiri sets on. He's already put on that's his second set already for Clips Kiri. So I'm assuming, judging by that sort of decision, that we're not expecting much rain in the race. And again, Matty Rudd just back end not being compliant. Mid corner for him. He's going to come to the line. It's a 30.6. He lost a lot of time there just by sliding the car. And the car just getting all out of shape. That could have been a lot better. And he'll probably feel that should have been a lot better, that lap. But mystery how out Keza. And his first lap with the intermediate tyres. Gattuso swapped to Inters. Typhoon is yet to swap. Same as Massive Marshall. It's the Cat still on wets, but in the pits and the leg. Sir Spud, has just put inside 30.999. Don't want to be too accurate with that time. That's not a bad start that actually for Sir Spud on his first lap. I wonder if on their sort of weather screens it stated that it was due to get better, so Sir Spud's waited and waited for the track to sort of come to him. Now he's got fresh tyres for the last part of this qualifying session. Mikey 9/10 up at the moment through the second sector. It's 9/10 up on his personal best of a 130.7. But on a 29.8, he comes down the back straight towards Parabolica. to the line. What can Mikey achieve? It is a 29.357. 6th place for now for the McLaren. Actually, we're at a 29.4, so he'll be happier with that into the 29s. And there's Sir Spud in the kick Sauber car. He's not on a lap because he's not using any of the ERS. Well, Gattuso on board with the Aston Martin for a lap with him, the championship leader. And comes down towards the Della Roggia chicane. See him almost coasting into it. Rather than braking hard, just sort of braking a bit early and just letting the car roll through the corner, trying to carry the mid-corner speed. But without touching, oh, he just runs a touch wide through Lesmo 1. Invalidated it is. You'll have time to go another couple of times here. We'll go to Sochinja Tiger through Lesmo 2. What's he got? He's not actually on a lap though. So, yeah, Matty Road coming into the pits now. Stephen. He's just starting a lap in his Sauber. Nitrogash, 2.1 quicker than his current personal best. 29.5 is the outlook right now, which is just behind Mikey and Ginger. But he does end with a 29.002, so Nitrogash showing that pace. Keza goes up into second place from out of nowhere. Ruddo sets the fastest time now at 27.352. The track getting quicker. I don't know if that's just because the amount of cars is helping that sort of racing line sort of not get too wet. You can definitely see that line. It's slightly drier than the rest of the circuit, so Jack coming through Ascari. I think is that Clips Kiri? Yeah, Clips Kiri coming to the line for his latest attempt. He does go quicker, goes second quickest at 27.994. Jack at the moment, he's heading through Parabolica now. So the line for the McLaren, it's going to be a 27.750. It's second place for now. What else we got? We've got Gattuso on his way. I think we should have Typhoon, who's on an outlap. Oh, I think that's Kent's just gone up into 4th place. Gattuso. What can he achieve on these intermediate tyres? A little bit wide through Parabolica, but he gets away because he just squared the corner up. So 28.094, so the qualifying maestro is in a bit of qualifying bother in that Aston Martin. He runs through the first chicane. Keza invalidated. He's going to have one more chance here as Keza. There's Stephen. He's invalidated this lap, I think, because it's a cooldown. He's on 29.8. Sir Spud starts his final lap. There is a Massive Marshall will be the last man to complete this qualifying session. Clips Kiri isn't going to go any faster. Jack, I think, trying to give Mikey a I would say trying to give Mikey a toe, but Mikey's already finished. So I'm not quite sure. I think Jack coming into the pits. Yeah, there we go. Jack into the pit lane. Stephen isn't going quicker. We've got Kent, who isn't going any quicker either. I think it's Typhoon. He's still on the wet compound tyre. Though Stephen has retired in the pits, that's absolutely fine. Typhoon coming up to the line for his final attempt is a 29.692. Puts himself 11th quickest. Keza is not there. Who's this coming to the line? It's not Massive Marshall. I can't. That might be Kent coming into the pits. We've got Nitrogash to the line. He's 6th place now. Maras goes up into 8th. that a Williams IC? It is a Williams IC, and Ruddo goes even quicker, a 27.244. As if he needed to go any quicker. Ginger Tiger to the line. Goes 6th quickest. I think everyone else just coming into the pits. Massive Marshall. He'll carry on to finish this lap. He's the final man to cross the line. It's a 32.0 this lap, though not quicker. He'll stay 15th ahead of the two Alpines, who did not set a time. But it is this man here. Ruddo 24. He takes pole position here for the Italian Grand Prix from Jack T and 53. Synopsis clips Kiri third. Gattuso, the first time in quite a while we see him outside of the top 3 in qualifying. He might have his work cut out here tonight round Monza. It all depends what the weather's going to do for the race and what setups everyone will be running. So your grid order for the Italian Grand Prix. Ruddo is on pole position with Jack alongside. Row 2 consists of Clips, Kiri and Gattuso. Row 3 is Kent and Ginger Tiger, with row 4 Nitro and Keza. Row 5 is Maras and Mikey. Row 6 Matty Rudd and Typhoon. It's an all Sauber row 7 lockout between O'Stephen and Sir Spud. Massive Marshall and It's the Cat share row 8. And the leg will start by himself on row number 9 in 17th place. Question is, what's the weather going to be in Italy? It's dry for now. So everyone going to be starting on those dry, slick tyres. Question is, are we expecting any rain later in this race? We don't know, and to be quite frank, sometimes even the drivers don't know, because in Invictus Racing League we do use approximate weather forecast. We do not use perfect weather forecast, which means the weather can come in earlier, can come in later, might not come at all. It is only an approximation of what might happen rather than a definitive what is going to happen. And Sir Spud letting us know it's a completely dry race, so other end of the spectrum from qualifying. Hopefully everyone has sort of seen that it's a dry race and they'll go for the dry setup, because if they've gone for a wet setup, it's going to be quite horrendous down the straights around here in these dry conditions. I'm just awaiting the go ahead. Yeah, the drivers just getting their strategy sorted. So the safety car chance is pretty high around here. Spud saying the weather for the race wasn't looking dry during qualifying. It's slightly changed, and Clipskiri's given the go-ahead for the drivers to ready up and get this race underway, or at least the formation lap anyway. So the drivers get underway for their formation lap. Just to run you back through the grid again is Roddo and Jack sharing the front row, Clips, Kiri and Gattuso on row 2, Kent, Ginger Tiger row 3, Nitro and Keza share row 4, row 5 is Maris and Mikey, row 7 is Matty Rudd and Typhoon, Stephen and Sir Spud share the 7th row for an all kicks Albert row on that one. Massive Marshall, the Cat, sharing row 8 with the leg on row 9 by himself. So look, tyres, we've got a nice mixture actually. 7 of the 17 drivers have gone hard tyres, those being Kent, Keza, Matty Rudd, Stephen, Sir Spud, Massive Marshall and the leg. The rest of the field all on that medium tyre. As Roddo leads them through Ascari. And down towards Parabolica. He slows up now as everyone... A little bit of a gap to, I think, Typhoon at the back. Between Typhoon and Matty Rudd. Roddo and Jack. Good mates off the circuit, going head to head. They're going into turn 1. They're going to have a really big battle on their hands because, generally speaking, a little bit like Mexico to a degree, although Mexico more so, sometimes being on that second row could actually be a better thing at the start because you'll get the draft down towards turn number 1 and that first chicane. Question is, who's going to get the launch? Who's going to get the run to turn 1? We are about to find out as everyone lines up on the grid. Sir Spud unfortunately didn't quite get his parking right, nor did the leg. Here we go though. We have the 5 red lights and we are racing for the Italian Grand Prix. And who's got the best getaway? I think it's going to be Roddo as Jack gets all out of shape coming off of his grid start. He's already down to 6th place as we go towards turn number 1. Clips Kiri into the lead. Gattuso has a lockup. Oh, big collision. It's Jack. Jack's... I don't know what's happened to Jack there, but he's lost it. Gone down the inside. Unfortunately, he's taken Clips Kiri with him. I think Mikey's been spun round as well. I think that was Jack. I could be wrong. That could well have actually been Mikey. I'm not quite sure. It was a McLaren. I know that much. Contact in the background between Keza and Maras. Maras off the road. Keza losing positions now. Collision with him and Stephen into Lesmo 1. Looks like no damage caused though on that basis. Through Lesmo 2 and it all just starts to settle out now. Typhoon, the leg is off. The leg is round at the exit of Lesmo 2. Keza and Matty Rudd side by side and Keza off the road at Ascari. He does come back on and he's gone back wide. He's going to lose out now. He's going to be down behind Massive Marshall. Maris and Stephen going side by side. And Maris looking to the inside of Matty Rudd. It's getting a little bit tight. Almost 3 wide into Parabolica we go. Roddo still leads, but Maris fending everyone off this for 7th place. We're going to have a potential move for the lead as Roddo looks down the inside of the first turn. He gets a little bit of a squeeze, but all fair racing in there. Oh, and a collision between Matty Rudd, I think that is, and someone. He went into the back of someone and he's lost a bit of front wing. He's had to cut the chicane. I say he's lost a bit of front wing. He's lost half his front wing. So he's going to have to probably come into the pits. It is absolute carnage here at Monza. What a big slide that is for, I think that was the Aston Martin of Typhoon. Through Lesmo 1 and down towards 2. We're only on the second lap and we've already had a little bit of carnage. We've had a McLaren. I think it could well have been Mikey, that one. Not Jack, so I do apologise to Jack. I think it was Mikey that unfortunately ended up on the grass and into turn number 1. Oh, collision between O'Stephen and Typhoon. In through Ascari. O'Stephen will claim the place, but they're still going to be side by side, and it looks like we've got side by side between Keza and Maras. Down to Parabolica. Oh, and more collisions going into a corner. Everyone just trying, almost like they're trying to squeeze too much. They know how precious the run out of a corner is around Monza. Trying to stop it at every angle. Rudder does get past Gattuso into turn number 1. Obviously, the DRS is open and enabled. Massive Marshall to the inside. He wasn't really alongside at that point. Just locked up, went into the side, into the rear quarter of Kiri. But it all ends well. Matty Rudd in the pits. An early pit stop for Matty Rudd. That's a shame for him because he was on the hard tyre. I believe he's in the hard tyre anyway. Maybe not though, because I'm pretty sure there were 7 runners. I did think Matty Rudd was on them, but maybe not. Keza runs a bit wide as he has Maras looking all over him. Runs wide through Lesmo 2, gets a little bit sketchy off the gravel. Good save in the Red Bull, but it's going to cost him a position to the Haas. Amazingly, all 17 drivers still running in this race. Back at the front though, it is Ruddo leading this little train. The top 6 are all in the train for DRS. Looking behind from the Williams of Ruddo. We go on to lap 4. And Gattuso, you're just not going to stop it. The question is, will Kent get past? He looks to the inside. He's going to go for the inside. Oh, it's tight, but that is some great racing from the pair of them. No contact made. They're going to have to be a bit careful though, because Gattuso will be looking to get away here and get a second up the road. And there's Typhoon and Maras. Typhoon gets up into the top 10. Ken and Ruddo need to make sure they don't lose too much time to Gattuso. Gattuso will use that ERS as I think Steven now has just got Maras. Further back, Spud at the back of that little train as well, joined by the Cat. Mikey in the background trying to make inroads, but here comes Sir Spud. He's not going to go past Maras. Maras like out of battery or something. He's losing a lot of speed down the straight. I don't know whether he might have the wrong setup on that car. He's down the back straight towards Parabolica. He can't get on the back of Sir Spud at all. Gattuso, fast lap of the race at 22.0. Doesn't really look like anyone's going to make a move though down towards turn number 1 in the at the front of the pack. Oh, and Sir Spud overtaking his teammate. Kent's just got 10 seconds of penalties for corner cutting. Something's happened at the first corner. I don't know what, but there's even more carnage because there's Keza crossing. This is you can't keep an eye on everything. It is mental. So Spud now finds himself into the top 10. Keza looks like relinquishing position, maybe, or is he defending? No, he is still defending that position. But Sir Spud, that's a great move from Sir Spud. Oh, and Keza in the wall. Wing is gone. He's been tagged from behind. I felt like that was Stephen. No, it wasn't. It was the Aston Martin, sorry, of Typhoon. Unfortunately, running into the back of the Red Bull, not expecting Keza to really slow that much. Keza doing exactly the right thing to make sure he didn't make contact with Sir Spud. A brilliant move from the Sauber. Unfortunately, Typhoon just didn't react quick enough. And into the wall goes Keza. And Gattuso now 1.2 to the good. And that's going to be bad news for Ruddo. It means he will be susceptible to attack from behind. But he will need to try and get that gap back down. Get onto that DRS. Clips Kerry makes a move in front of Massive Marshall. He goes into the first corner. Typhoon to the inside. Oh, locks well and truly up. There's a hell of a block pass that is, as Keza unfortunately has retired in the pit lane. That's a big shame for the Red Bull driver. Deciding that is the end of his day. And we're down to 16 now in the race. Gaps on the front opening up. Nitrogas now under threat from his own teammate. But a bit of teamwork there. He lets Ginger Tiger go. And Ruddo flirting with that 1 second to Gattuso. If he can get that down. Does. Can he keep it there? Yes, he does. So Ruddo now in DRS range of Gattuso. His rear wing should be opening any time from now. It does not, so he obviously must have just dropped out just before. Jack gets past Nitrogas with some DRS assistance. And Kent's going to follow him through, but Kent has that 10-second penalty for corner cutting. The cat is in the pit. I can only assume what will be for a new front wing. No, it is a pit stop onto hard tyres. That's interesting. It seems a bit early for that one. Managed to go to the end of this little train. The top 6 now are all back within DRS of each other, which is great to see. We like having close racing. Mikey up to 12th place. Still got that damage to the front wing as well. So he's sort of nursing that car, probably wanting a safety car so that you can get in and get that wing changed. Massive Marshall picks up 3 seconds himself in 7th place. We're watching the front of the pack at the moment between Gattuso and Ruddo. I can just sort of calm down just a little bit. There's some gaps opened up. At the back you do have Maris and the cat. Quite close. No one at the front close enough to make a move, but what this means is everyone's going to just start closing up with that DRS to Gattuso. Gattuso going to be under a lot of pressure as Maris gets past the cat under the old banking and into Ascari. So watching the battle for the lead because it has closed dramatically. Kent's all over the back of Jack, but Jack still has DRS to Ginger Tiger. But the lead now 0.3 of a second. We're on lap 8 at the moment. DRS opens for Ruddo now. Close enough. He's closing. Looks to the inside, can't do it. Kent has a little look to the inside, but again thinks better of it. He's not quite far enough or close enough to make that one work. Nitrogas, unfortunately, is going to sort of start losing touch with his front pack. He's outside of DRS and normally around Monza, unless you can get that back pretty quickly against a DRS train in front of you. That's normally the end of that sort of attack in that section of the grid. third race. This is Mikey in the pits now. Maybe just thinking that front wing not doing him any favours as Jack to the outside of Ginger Tiger out towards Ascari, but Ruddo almost. I thought Ruddo was going to have a look into Ascari. He had a little look at the gap but thought better of it. Jack now has to get a good run out of Ascari. Well, he got a great one because he wants to be on the back of Ruddo. He needs to be in DRS because he's going to be under threat from Ginger Tiger down the main straight. And he will be under threat from Ginger Tiger down the main straight. Although Jack does get a good run, and Ginger Tiger into the pits he comes. This is the end of those, that's the end of those mediums. He's obviously worn them out a little bit quicker than he thought, or maybe looking for a slight undercut as Ruddo goes to the lead. Once again, Kent has a minor look at Jack, but thinks better of it. But Ruddo now leads this race. Massive Marshall has got down the inside of Clips Kerry into turn number 1. Lovely little move from the RB. Typhoon up into 9th now, obviously with Ginger Tiger's pit stop. This is crucial. These next couple of corners here for Jack, this next corner really is absolutely crucial. He has to get into that 1 second if he wants to fight for this win and not continuously be under threat from Kent. But they may have to play some leapfrog, and I think that's exactly what Jack is going to do. Going to play a little bit of leapfrog with the Red Bull to try and close the gap to the front of this race, because Kent now, yes, Kent under a second, and now he can draft himself and Jack up to the pack, but he just loses out, and Jack will get a chance himself up towards the first chicane. And Gattuso into the pits now. So Gattuso has responded to Ginger Tiger's pit stop. The rest of the front of the pack. Nitro's also come in. $11 laps, well, we're on 10 laps in the books. So Spud moving up to 6th place now. He is yet to stop. There's only 5 seconds here off of Clips Kiri is Spud, so he's doing a good job. Gattuso out just behind his teammate. This will not be a hard overtake. There you go. Might be a bit harder for Ginger though. The Typhoon will most certainly fight the Mercedes. The battle for second is still raging on between Kent and Jack at the moment. They've lost more time to Ruddo. 1.8 seconds now the gap. So Ruddo on a bit of a mission here, maybe on an in-lap. Jack half a second away from the Red Bull. The Red Bull, Kent's going to just keep going and going because that's all he can do on that hard tyre. He can't stop this early. Go for mediums. Ruddo does come into the pits, as does Jack. So Kent now will lead this race on those hard tyres. Massive Marshall will promote himself up into second, albeit a temporary second place. Clips Kiri's going to continue on. So he's going longer on that medium set of tyres. There's Sir Spud. He's into the top 5 now. Where's Gattuso? There's Gattuso. There's also Ginger, and it's close, but it is Gattuso who gets this one. And Ginger Tiger, he won't get Ruddo, but he stays ahead of Jack. Now, the critical phase for Ruddo, getting these tyres up to temperature, getting that gap down to a second. So Stephen comes into the pits. Typhoon is in the pits as well. From Massive Marshall, the leg yet to pit as well. Matty right up to 11th. Mikey 15th for now. He's going to be hoping for a safety car. It's not been a great night for Mikey. He may end up in the stewards after this one. And we head on with this race. 13 We're on to lap number 13 here. Kent, 11 seconds to the good at the moment, but as clips Kiri. He sped in the pit lane. That's 10 seconds worth of penalties, and he will not serve it here. Gutting for the Hash driver. He's done a solid job in recovery, but that's going to ruin that sort of race. Ginger Tiger gets past Ruddo. As Mikey picks up 3 seconds through Ascari. Jack unable to stick with what will be the top 3 in this race. Gattuso's picked up 3 seconds. That's not ideal for the Aston Martin. Now, at the moment he's got a good chance to get away here because I think really Ruddo needs to get ahead of Ginger Tiger and quickly. And Ginger Tiger, working together here with the Williams. So we go through Ascari, looking just to close that gap to Gattuso. Gattuso is coming up to Sir Spud, and we know Sir Spud well entitled to defend this position. This is for track position. And I get the feeling it's going to be quite hard for Sir Spud. As Gattuso opens up that DRS. Spud's car is looking mighty fast. That thing is an absolute rocket ship. He must have taken the wings off that thing. That is unbelievable. Sir Spud with an absolute rocket in a straight line. The problem is, he doesn't really get a great exit coming out of the first chicane. He's going to stick with it though, to the outside, down towards the Della Roggia. A bit of contact between the two. And Gattuso does get through. But mighty defence from Sir Spud, really nicely driven there. There's a touch of racing contact into the Della Roggia. Comes Ginger Tiger. So we go to the outside. As will Ruddo. Sir Spud sticks to the inside and dives in because I don't think he had any DRS. But it now means Ginger Tiger just about he's just outside the second now. He's got to use a bit of ERS, do something to get inside that DRS zone. Gattuso, I think, doing really well. I think he's using that ERS to good effect. We've got a yellow flag. That looks like maybe Matty Rudd. He's had a spin. Massive Marshall into the pits. Ginger Tiger now sets the fastest lap of 21.7. Ruddo now coming down the inside. Again, these two are just working together, looking to get up to Gattuso and put some pressure on by getting in that DRS. Jack, I think, definitely accepting here that he's not going to be with these top 3. He's looking to run his own race at the moment through the Della Roggia chicane. Kent really looking for a safety car now because the gap is closing. Now Matty Rudd back into the pits. Change of tyres. The gap between the net first position is 0.6 of a second between Ruddo and Gattuso. Jack has got past Sir Spud down into Ascari. But he's 3.5 behind the leading trio, or the net leading trio I should say. And Matty picks up 3 seconds of penalties for track limits. Let's have a look at these penalties. We have 10 seconds for Ken. He'll serve that in the pit stop, and that pit stop comes now. So he's going to be miles behind everyone. The leg has picked up 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. So not ideal for people. It's a difficult pit lane because the limit line, the speed limit line comes up at you really fast. And the drivers, they're always looking to just break that as late as they can. just to make a little bit of time up into the pit lane. But if you get it wrong, it costs you 10 seconds. And that's what's happened to Clips Kiri. He's got 10 seconds. Massive Marshall has 6. Maris has 3 with the leg on 10. Mikey's picked up 13 seconds worth of penalties. I think that's a corner cut and a 3 second. Matthew Rudd on 3 seconds. But he's only on 3 seconds, which is, by this point, he'd normally be on about 9. Back at the front, and Ruddo, right behind Gattuso. He just can't seem to get enough of a run at the moment to challenge his Aston Martin. Into the first corners, Maris picks up another 3 seconds. That's through Ascari, easily done through Ascari. Through the Grande, and yeah, Ruddo, he gets within within half a second, but he can't get much closer than that. There's side by side between Massive Marshall and Clips Kiri. Massive Marshall comes out on top on that battle, and they've got Kent behind them. So Spud has now pitted. He's come out in 9th place actually as Spud, so that's a really good stint he's put in that Sauber. Mikey overtakes O'Steven down the main straight with DRS. He'll be looking just to get back into the points if he can. In typical F1 24 fashion, for some stupid reason, been kicked out of the lobby. So bear with me a minute whilst we get back to spectating. We'll see what's happened. Scotty, yeah, not a bug. It's a feature. It's something, all right. I can tell you that much. How are you, Scotty? Anyway, hope you are well. As we get back to the racing at Monza, let's see what. Let's probably find out we're under safety car. Something. No, Ruddo though is a lot closer to Gattuso than he was when we previously left this off. And they've also broken away from Ginger Tiger. So the top two now battling away. Question is, does Ruddo have that extra little bit to get past the Aston Martin? Nine laps remain in this Grand Prix. We're into the final third of the Italian Grand Prix. Ruddo looks to the inside, thinks better of it. Not quite close enough to launch an attack yet. Get the feeling it is coming though. Kent has got past Clips Kiri, and he's going to be looking to get past Massive Marshall. Up to the first chicane, and easy pickings that for the Red Bull. DRS open. He's 7.5 behind Nitro Gash, who is in turn 3.9 behind Jack, who's 6 seconds behind Ginger Tiger, who is fallen out of favour of DRS to the top two. Maris and Typhoon, they're pretty close at the moment. Typhoon currently winning that battle. Typhoon on newer tyres though. Mikey has O'Steven for company through the first chicane. Matty Rudd has picked up a place courtesy of the Cats pit stop. Kent should be pulling away from Massive Marshall really, but he's not. Massive Marshall keeping him honest through Ascari. Ruddo down the main straight. He's going to have DRS. Does he have enough this time? It looks like he will do. Pulls to the inside. for the first chicane. Ruddo down the inside. Jobs are good one for Williams back into the lead, but this fight is far from over. Gattuso all over the back of the Williams now, heading towards the De La Roggia chicane. Touch of wheel-to-wheel contact, but no bad omens coming from that one. Drivers are running with each other really close tonight, closer than usual, which is why you were seeing these little sort of wheel bangs and stuff like that. Yeah, I'd probably agree with you this, Scotty, on actually maybe running some slightly higher wings. I mean, he is on a controller as well, which doesn't help around here. If you're running low wings, the back end will not enjoy the immediate steering. Gattuso practically pushing Ruddo through Parabolica. And this is going to be a nice easy move. DRS open and Ruddo just no answer for that one. Didn't even take it into the braking zone. But the lead changes hands once again on lap 21. Further down you got Maris. Also got Stephen with Mikey. But I think Maris not really a threat here for Typhoon. At least not right now. 7/8 behind. It's a lot of time. Mikey has O'Stephen for company. O'Stephen looking down the inside of Parabolica. O'Stephen goes for the move. We'll look to get this done, but who's got the DRS? Did O'Stephen time that to perfection? No, he didn't. Mikey's got DRS. Here he comes, the McLaren. They're a lot more even down here, and Mikey can't finish that move. I do wonder, though, how much of the ERS did O'Stephen have to take out of that car to keep that position? Kent still being kept honest here by Massive Marshall, even though it's not really going to really work out for Massive Marshall because he's got a 3-second penalty. Front Ruddo close to the inside in the braking zone, and Ruddo makes the move. Don't know why I thought Ginger was spinning there, but he wasn't. But Kent versus Massive Marshall. Nothing Massive Marshall can really do right now. Similar sort of tyres. Clips Kiri is sort of. He's got. The problem is for Clips Kiri, he's got a 10-second penalty. If he didn't have that, he'd be in a really good position here to wait for those mediums to sort of die off and take advantage of this different wear. He's not. Ginger Tiger now 2.6 behind the leading pair. And once again, Gattuso gets really close to Ruddo, down towards the run for Parabolica, but doesn't take it just yet. To the line, Gattuso takes the lead once again on lap number 23. This is where Ruddo needs to maybe play a little bit smarter, because every time he's overtaken Gattuso, it's been on the even-numbered lap. He needs to be able to do it and change it up so that he does it on the odd-numbered lap, because it's only 27 laps in this race. A Massive Marshall down the inside of Kent at turn 1. Some good racing all through the pack now. Here for the Italian Grand Prix. Massive Marshall gets through and he drives away. Just a little bit, half a second now, the gap between Marshall and Kent. Ruddo. Oh, look at this from Ruddo. Not using the DRS. He's going to keep that for the main straight, isn't he? That's what you call some nice little tactics here. You may have DRS. It is not mandatory that you have to use it. Through Parabolica they come. Or is this what Rodo is thinking? And actually, on lap 27, he'll be behind going down towards Ascari. Goes one way, goes the other to the inside, and once again, like other laps before, Rodo will take the lead of this race. Meanwhile, Kent is now looking for a move on Massive Marshall to the outside, hits the brakes slightly later, and the Red Bull makes his way back into 6th place. Stephen, that battle's still going on, 0.8 of a second between the two. It's fair to say Stephen hasn't really had much of an answer the last couple of laps. Those mediums may be coming to the end of their life cycle in this stint. The yellow flag, I'm not really sure what that's for. Looks like possibly Matty Rudd maybe getting out of the way. No, someone else. Oh, it's Massive Marshall, that's who it is. Marshall's obviously gone wide through the chicane at the Della Roggia, and he's lost a lot of time there. 3 seconds now to Clips. Because of that, he may well lose more time because of the DRS. Meanwhile, at the front, is anyone else getting a bit of deja vu? Gattuso, DRS to the front. Good racing between them. Ginger Tiger is doing really well here because he's managed to reel back in some of that time. It was 2.6 earlier, it's now 1.9. So he's still there. If anything goes wrong, Ginger Tiger is still very much there. Half a second behind the Aston Martin on lap number 25. Down towards Ascari they come. This is the battle for the lead. Or will eventually be the battle for the win. I mean, ultimately, Ruddy doesn't have to, at present, overtake Gattuso. Gattuso does have a 3-second penalty, but Gattuso, people can challenge these track limit penalties. If they feel one of the warnings was not justified. But onto the penultimate lap we go, and once again Rodo goes to the front of the pack. It's good racing between the pair of these drivers. Oh, and Gattuso looking to upset this rhythm as he looks to the outside of Curva Grande. Down towards the Della Roggia, looking to disrupt what rhythm could... Oh, bit of a squeeze into the chicane. But Gattuso gets through. And all of a sudden, Rodo's game plan, I think, slightly out the window. He now uses DRS, so... What can Rodo do? He looks to the inside. He's down the inside. He's got the overlap into Ascari, but he thinks better of it. He's going to have to get on that ERS because he'll have a slow exit out of Ascari now. Yes, he does. Time coming down. Parabolica for the penultimate time. We're going to just stick with this battle for the lead. All the way to the end here. We got people like Clips Curry who's on Kent, although Clips picks up another 3 seconds. Sir Spud picks up 3 seconds. But it shouldn't matter too much because everyone around him has penalties. Here comes Ruddo. Looks to the inside, thinks better of it this time around. He wants to stay behind Gattuso. He wants the run into Ascari. Uses DRS to use a bit of ERS, I think, coming out of the corner to stick with the Aston Martin. Clips Kiri has got past Kent for now. through the Della Roggia chicane. Gattuso under a lot of pressure as we go through the Lesmos. Lesmo 1 into Lesmo 2. Rodo needs a good run out of here. I think he did get one as well. DRS open. Guarantee the ERS will be on. The Williams to the inside. He makes the move into Ascari now. Flick it left, flick it right. Oh, and a bit of a collision between him and Gattuso. Down the back straight we go. Gattuso moves out to the left-hand side. He's looking at the outside of Parabolica. Oh, he's going to let it roll round the outside. Can Rodo keep that inside? He'll have to use the ERS. It's going to be close. Up to the line we go. I think it's going to be Rodo. Rodo on circuit. Yes, it is. By 0.056 of a second, Rodo wins the Italian Grand Prix. It is Ginger Tiger in second place. Gattuso finishes in third. Jack is in fourth. Nitrogash is fifth. Kent will claim sixth, mainly because of penalties on Clips this side. And they swap positions. I think Clips actually got Kent on the line. I'm not really sure what's happened to Mikey there, but he'll claim whatever his AI gets. Clips in seventh. Massive Marshall finishes eighth. That's a great result for him. I think that's his first point of the season, which is great to see. Sir Spud is in 9th. Typhoon 10th. Maras will come home in 11th. Fastest lap went to Matty Rudd, who came in for Sauce right at the end. The leg finishes in 12th. I think O'Steven is just outside of the penalty window. Yes, he is. He misses that by 2 seconds. Mikey will claim 14th. And it's the Cat will be in 15th place to round out. But it is this man here, Ruddo 24, winning the Italian Grand Prix for Williams. It's a fantastic result for him and the team. And it must be said, a fantastic battle between the likes of Ruddo, Ginger Tiger and Gattuso. Your podium celebrations. It's not often you get to see a Williams on the top step, but you've got that today. Fantastic to see. So the provisional, I'm not quite sure what on earth is happening on the circuit. That was interesting. But it is Ruddo who wins from Ginger Tiger. Gattuso is in third. Jack is fourth. Nitro fifth. Kent is in sixth. Eclipse in seventh. Massive Marshall is in eighth. Sir Spud 9th. Typhoon is 10th. Maras is 11th with the leg in 12th. O'Steven 13th. Mikey 14th. It's the Cat 15th. Matty Rudd 16th. Keza, the only retirement from this Grand Prix, in 17th place. That is your provisional results. But where do we have left to go this season? Well, we've got 3 rounds left here in the Invictus Racing League Equal Performance. Next week we head to Shanghai International Circuit and the Chinese Grand Prix. That comes next week. That is then followed by the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix Sprint Evening. And then the finale at Interlagos on the 1st of April. It's going to be a great set of races to come. So make sure you join us for those ones. And obviously, if you've enjoyed the racing, enjoyed the stream, make sure you give it a like, subscribe to the Invictus Racing League channel, because make sure you enable your notifications so you know when all the live racing is going on in the weeks to come as we come to the end of this season. It's going to be a cracker and you don't want to miss out on it. But for myself, thank you for watching tonight, and we hope you have a good rest of your week.